Get ready for another star-studded episode of the opulent lifestyles of the obscenely elite. Your VIP adventure to the lives and loves of today's richest elite, who really know how to enjoy all the great things in life. I'm your host, Sparrow Sycophant, and on this glittering edition, Marion Ariasha reveals her stunning beauty secrets to the world. You won't believe how this Imperial Rose stays looking so good while riding high on her career and her private yacht that just keeps on getting better. Today we see the preparations for her exclusive wedding. The groom, a former homeless Federation man who scavenged in garbage for discarded emitters, rescued into the lap of luxury by his Imperial princess, proving that living well really is the best revenge. This incredible story and much, much more on Opulent Lifestyle.
This thing is freaking huge. A lot bigger than you think it's gonna be, and a lot bigger than you might be prepared for. Best to keep the advanced auto dock on this one, most of the time. This is the Beluga, Saud Kruger's largest throbbing contribution to overcompensating luxury liners. And there's just something about the design of this ship that makes me feel connected with it. I just can't quite get my hands around it. Developed in 3302, the Beluga was built to be the final word in luxury passenger transport. And like its younger brothers, is one of the only ships that can accommodate a luxury passenger lounge. And it is well suited for it, because the Beluga is extremely luxurious. It might be tempting to think of the Beluga as simply a larger scale Orca. And well, that's not wrong. But there are some key design differences between the two. Aside from the size, there's a set of retracting tail fins for planetary flight, and a secondary bridge on the upper deck. And if I'm being honest, I think this should have been the only bridge. And while Saud Kruger is known for its iconic design, I think a more traditional luxury cruise liner front end would have gone a long way in distinguishing the ship from the Orca. An extended front end view from the top bridge would have given the Beluga a larger sense of scale, much like the Anaconda or the Corvette. And honestly, I think it would have looked better too. Because unfortunately, there's not a lot to distinguish the Beluga from its younger siblings. Though it clearly has more internal capacity, it doesn't actually have more utility than the Orca, with the exception of having a higher potential passenger count. Though, to be fair, if you've bought a Beluga Liner, it's entirely possible that's all you want to do. Being a cruise ship captain for the elite must have some kind of perk. As a combat vessel, the Beluga is probably not your best choice. But, like the Orca, it doesn't mean you can't have fun. A similar build strategy can be applied to either ship, and the idea of violently ramming a massive, hardened pleasure ship into others is, I'm sure, very appealing to a certain crowd. Though, properly handled, its size isn't everything. In the right hands, it's all about how you use it. 5 medium hardpoints means the Beluga isn't completely reliant on its girth in combat though. Properly tuned, it can be extremely flexible in its movements. And though its hardpoint placement isn't ideal, seeker missiles and packhounds spraying from its front end can mean an effective end to an engagement with an unwanted dance partner. And if things get truly out of hand, a fighter can be deployed as a wingman, allowing you to tag team anything that might get in your way. That said, this kind of build is particularly specialized. Because the Beluga wasn't really meant to hunt pirates, the fact that it can be done at all is a relatively high mark for the ship itself, but much more telling of the pilot flying it. It's always less about the equipment and more about how you use it. As an exploration vehicle, the Beluga falls short on other options out there, and unfortunately also to its younger brother, the Orca. Ironically, it seems to have too much space for its own good, and while it does have a larger frameshift drive, it doesn't seem to offset its bulk. So what we've ended up with is a larger, more expensive ship with better parts that does worse. However, if you are on the Venn diagram of people who want to explore with a Saud Kruger ship, and those who absolutely need a fighter while they do it, well, the Beluga was basically built just for you. But as I said, the ship was pretty much purpose-built for one thing: passengers. Specifically wealthy ones. Passengers who won't interact with you in any way, who don't tip, who don't pay very well, but still demand every amenity that pops in their head, even if it's absurdly stupid. In essence, buying the ship is being absolutely determined to be a bus driver for some very cheap and spoiled children. Why would anybody want that? At the end of the day, the Beluga is not a very good ship. And while its sheer size really is impressive, it doesn't seem to be worth the cost of admission. It's expensive, it doesn't do anything you'd actually want it to do all that well, the design is derivative, it overheats if you boost and charge the FSD at the same time, and I don't know if you've noticed this, but it really looks like a piece
of the obscenely elite.